tell us a little bit, just a quick overview. We are not going to go into deep detail right now, but who are some of the people that you look after right now or you're working with?
Yeah, so look, the closest person or boxer I'm working with, if you like, is Hamza Shiraz.
Love that boxer.
And yeah, look, I keep saying I get more and more emotionally involved in this guy, right? The more I get to know him, the more I work with him and the team. So one correction, right? TAS Khan is the CEO of League of Blows. I'm the founder, right? If we can call it that. So TAS Khan is part of the team. Kamran, Hamza's dad, is part of the team, and Hamza himself, right? But we try to let Hamza deal with business in the ring, and we're looking after it outside.
100.
So look, Hamza, obviously very close to him, work closely with him. There's other fighters now that I'm trying to get closer to and supporting, and trying to do a few things in the background, which I won't say now because it's early days, right? But I mentioned a few names of boxers that I really like and hope to do some more with. Akib Fiaz, you know, he fights this Saturday, so up in Manchester, you know, taking a little army from the south, you know, to go and support him. So I'm looking forward to him fight. Gosh, who else? Anis Taj, you know, I've got to give him a shout. Really, really good guy. He fought with Al Riley not so long ago. Rematch coming up. I've spoken with Robbie Davies, Jermaine Franklin, Dylan Chima, Maverick Masood, you know, and as my favorite probably is a 9-year-old called Ayub who lives very close to me. But I don't know if you've come across this kid. He's 9, looks the part, and he reminds me of Nassim Hamid, you know, so he's an entertainer as well, you know, 100. Lovely kid, and hopefully he goes all the way as well. So a number of them.
100. See, boxers nowadays, it's not just about what they can perform in the ring. It's just as much of they are like a showman as well. Like you see Muhammad Ali, Tyson Fury is a big one. Like if they can do all of the part of creating a lot of noise and creating a show and attracting people, I suppose that gives these fighters more leverage in terms of, I want to fight on that card, or I will fight this fighter. What do you think about that?
100%. Being a good fighter isn't enough if you want to get the best fights, and also if you want to make money. And it's the same with being a lawyer, right? You can be the best lawyer in the world, but you're not going to get clients unless you know how to sell what you know. So with a boxer, and I'll give you an example. You mentioned you know, Muhammad Ali and Tyson Fury. I think Josh, you know, these guys, they're Canelos, they've made it, they're in the clear, right? But there's got something about them. You look at Terence Crawford, pound for pound, right?
Yes.
What's his purse on his last fight? How many pay-per-views does he do? He's one of the pound for pound greatest. Yeah. But he has, in my humble opinion, has he got the following that Chris Eubank has, for example, Junior I'm talking about here. What has Chris Eubank Jr. really won? But look how many people, look at the last fight with Liam Smith. It was crazy. It was madness. So you're right. You know, you've got to have something about you, you know, the X factor, whatever, something that's going to put bums on seats, going to make someone fork out 30, 40 pounds to buy that pay-per-view. And that will help a boxer, in my humble opinion, again, right, to not only get those fights, but make some money, because it's about the money. Let's just, no two ways about it. You know, again, some fighters will talk about we're in it for the glory, for the fight. That's great, but you're not going to risk your life, right, just to be the greatest. Yes, that's a big part of it, but surely you want to make sure you're financially secure and getting financially rewarded for putting your life on the line every time you step into that ring.
All of that hard work that goes in the ring is why do we watch a fight, and it's not just what we look at, is how does that person make you feel? You know, that feeling they're giving you. And every time I saw like Prince Nassim Hamid come out, he'll be flying on a flying carpet, his ring that he jumps in. And even Chris Eubanks Jr.'s father, Chris Eubank, would be that showman also. And you even saw like Prince Nassim in the crowd looking at him and going, because that's what era I'm from. When I used to watch all of that, the Dark Destroyer.
Absolutely.
You know, the 1, 2, 3 fights, and this is what actually, you know, this is what imprints. I don't even remember half of the fights. You know.
You're 100% right. I mean, look, I think we're probably similar era, right? I'm probably a bit older. You could tell by the grey hairs, but when I was growing up, it was Muhammad Ali. He was before my time, right? But we grew up watching his reels, watching his fights. Why? As a Muslim, right, this guy's proclaiming his faith, just being true to his, no messing around. Nassim, the carpet was brilliant, but for me, you know, when he stands in, I think it was Madison Square with Warren Buffett for saying, I bear witness that that's giving me goosebumps, man. You know, you're thinking, wow. So everyone gets inspired by different things, right? But if you notice, whether it's Ali, whether it's Tyson Fury now, whether it's Chris Eubank, whoever, the entertainers, they know how to pull out there with, you know, the crazy suits that Tyson wears, the trash talk he does. That just attracts people. Look at KSI and Jake Paul and these guys, right? What have they done? You know, they're not the best of boxers, right? And I can't talk, I don't know, I couldn't throw a straight jab or whatever, but they're not the best of boxers. But what they do, they've got something about them which attracts crowds. So hats off to them. And that's what you've got to have, I think, to make it big. You know, some of these boxers, and I haven't mentioned them, but, you know, I'm not working with your Joshuas or your, you know, your, Canelos and David, because they can afford it. And then Nassim falls into that bracket. He's a household name. And I don't know what I could do, if I'm absolutely honest, right? What I've seen, though, in the short time that I've been in this game and looking at boxing from the inside, and I've seen contracts, they've been prepared by someone, right? Who's probably in the game longer than I have.
Yes.
They're not very good, bro. They're not drafted well at all. They are unclear. They're not well written. And if me as a lawyer, I don't understand them, how is a fighter going to understand? Or a fighter's manager going to understand? Or a fighter's father, or whoever's looking after the fighter himself going to understand? It's not because the fighter or whoever's looking after the fighter isn't clever enough to understand. Fighters are clever, right? They're sharp. It's just the way they are drafted is in a way, I think, purposely sometimes to make it all vague, make it ambiguous. So if there's a dispute, if there's anything, what are you going to take to the British board or to an arbitrator? They won't understand it, and therefore, you know, you can get out of obligations, right? If there's uncertainty in the contract. So I don't know. So with Nassim and with anyone else, everyone's got the advisors, and some are good and bad, I'm sure. But I don't think there's a level of sophistication on the business side, is what I'm seeing. So what I'm trying to do, you know, when I speak with, whether it's Nassim or even with Amir or Hamza or anyone, you know, when I'm speaking about contracts and I see what those contracts are about, I sort of take a deep breath and I think, no, you can't be doing this, or you need to put this and that in there. And they've all got good lawyers, supposedly.
Wow.
And I've seen, you know, I'm not going to mention the names, right? But there's one or two who, you know, when you speak to the fighters, and someone like a high-level fighter, right? I won't mention them, but you can guess we've already mentioned them. Who do you use? Who drafted this? Who did you get your advice from? And they, you know, give me the name, and I do a bit of, you know, stalking and Google, and I see the profiles. Associate at this firm I've never really heard of. And now I'm head of whatever. And I'm thinking, okay, so I'm a lawyer. I understand the process from being a trainee, associate, senior associate, partner, senior equity partner. And I'm not going to just blow my own trumpet, but I'm a senior equity partner at an international law firm doing law for about 20 years, and I've closed deals worth billions. When I get a contract, I can rip it to shreds if I need to. Some of these lawyers, I don't know what experience they've had, how they've gone about doing things, and it's just not great, you know. And that's, again, I don't want to be blowing my own trumpet here, but, you know, with whatever level you're at as a fighter, don't just assume that I've got a lawyer and therefore it's all done. You know, there was things where, you know, we talked about Fury and Jake Paul fight, right?
Yeah.
Fury came out with a clip, you know, there was a clip on YouTube or something I saw, and I was amazed. I posted it because he said, someone asked him about what's in your contract about purse or about rematch. He goes, I don't know what's in my contract. The lawyer's dealing with it, and, you know, I haven't even read it. And I'm thinking, man, this is a big fight. You've got big. Say if that lawyer said, you know what, 30% of your purses goes towards legal fees. For example, read your contract and don't just trust your lawyer blindly, because lawyers can get it wrong as well.
A lot of people are saying that boxers are becoming businessmen. You know, no fights are happening because they just want to be businessmen. They want a portion of this, that, etc. But, like, you know, for example, Fury, you've got to say he could have fought like 2 or 3 times by now, and he keeps pulling out, even after percentages. From the outside, it looks good. But Tyson is very shrewd in terms of, like, my legal team are looking into this and I'm going to only sign absolutely to the last minute. What do you see when you look at that same situation? So,
look, from a personal perspective, I think each boxer will have a different view, right? And there are boxers out there who will say, yeah, we need to just fight, forget the business side of it. We just want to fight. I just want to be a world champion. You know, I think being a world champion, fighting the best, is a part of a boxer's, sort of nature, right? They do want to fight the best. But I think anyone who says at that elite level that they're fighting just for the glory, I don't know. I think it goes hand in hand. So you want to fight the best, but you want to make sure you're getting rewarded for fighting the best as well.
Yes.
So when you talk specifically about Tyson Fury, again, I don't know him, never met him, right? And I speak as a fan and a fan of boxing. When I see him not fighting even AJ at a time when that fight should have been made, not fighting Usyk where it's a 70-30 split and whatever he's wanted commercially has been agreed, I'm just thinking, as a fan, you're ducking this fight.
Yeah.
Because from a financial perspective, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But let's flip it now, right? If you're a fighter and you'll get that elite level, right? Even at an elite level, there's not much money in the game, from what I'm understanding, right? It's not like everyone's making tens of millions of pounds. It's not like that. Mm-hmm. You can fight for a world title for a fraction, right?
Yeah.
So let's just say, you're undefeated fighter, and you're gonna either fight for a title challenge or you're gonna defend against another top tier, world-class fighter, and someone's offers you a purse of, I don't know, for argument's sake, just £100, for example, being really extreme here, right? You're gonna be thinking, man, this is my one opportunity, perhaps, potentially. If I lose it, I've got to start again. Am I gonna take this opportunity and become a world champion? That's one way of looking at it. But am I gonna risk as well going in, fighting, maybe getting injured, maybe losing, and then having to start again? £400? No way. I'm not going to do that. Mm-hmm. So the business side of it, the financial side of it is really, really important. Again, I'm getting to see what boxers go through. You told me you box, but you will understand, right, the regime and the discipline, right? And hopefully I'm joining Hamza in camp next week, so I'll hopefully get to see a bit more of that. But what I know already is boxers sacrifice a lot, right? In terms of how they train, their diet, financially in terms of what they spend on nutrition, trainers and all of that, and the time they spend away from family and, doing, young kids. When I was 19, 20, I was out and about and doing whatever I was doing. I wasn't in the gym all the time. I wish I was. But these kids give all that up.
Yeah.
So if you're giving all that up and you're now fighting, surely you want to get rewarded for that. And the other thing, Sean, is don't forget, I'm a lawyer, right? I'll work probably until I drop, right? But boxers have a limited lifespan at the top level as well. I even starting out. So what? Even if you're young, you start out at 19. Most boxers 33, 34. Yeah. When you're 33, you're a bit old as a boxer. On.
Yeah, you're right? Like what's his name? Kell Brooks sort of age, and they've got nothing left apart from like a exhibition or something.
Exactly,
like that.
Right. So if you got 10 years, let's just say it's 10 years, surely you want to milk it for what it's worth. And when you've got that right opportunity, even if it's for a world title, if you're not going to get paid enough, it gives you something to think about. I
worked at my dad's corner shop and I didn't get paid.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be there because I wanted to learn.
Yeah.
And I wanted to price the stocks up, work out VATs and business and how to speak to people. And that's like called delayed gratification, because today that really helps me when I'm doing my properties and doing deals, etc. And it's got me, these are the example like I'm even using right now.
Yeah.
That was the seed. What about in terms of if a fighter did have that fight? I understand there are some dangers, but they're at this cross path where they're not getting many deals come to them. They really want to fight, and this fight will give them that opportunity. Although not the money returns, but it will give them that opportunity to be seen by the world and become a champion to then negotiate the next deal. What would you say about that?
And you're 100% right, in the sense of it's an opportunity that could be potentially lost, right? I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, right? And I speak not as a fighter, but you mentioned having the team and Tyson Fury with his legal management team, right? This is where I think if an opportunity is presented, as a lawyer, you talk about the contract, what you're getting, and making sure the fighter understands exactly what the deal is. That's the first thing. Then you've got maybe the father looking out for his son and saying, you know what, from a father's perspective, from a career perspective, it makes a lot of sense. Forget the money, just do it, because this will open up more doors. Then you've got the manager or the trainer talking about, well, look, the money might even be great, but the stylistic is not for you, or it's too early. You need a team effort to advise, right? Mm-hmm. Once you've got the advice from stakeholders and people who you trust, then I think it's your own choice as a fighter to say, what are you about? You know, it's got to be money and it's got to be the glory? Is it forget the money, it's just got to be the glory? Is it forget I just want the money, I'll fight anyone if the money's right? That I can't give you the answer. That's the fighter will tell you that. All we can do, and you know, I don't think, you know, if for example, if any fighter that I'm working with wanted to fight for a world title and it's for peanuts, I can't say, don't do that fight, it's rubbish. Who am I? I can give my view. And this is what I say to everyone. Take advice from everybody, right? But only take advice or ask for it from those who you trust, because everyone wants to give it some, right? And they don't even know what they're talking about half the time. But get advice from people you trust, but make your own decision. Because if you go on the advice of someone and you don't really believe it's the right thing for you, and it doesn't work out, you say, I shouldn't have listened, I did it. Then you can't, you know, you're going to don't blame it on do it, take it on yourself.
So it's about getting the right team around you, taking everyone's opinion and decisions, and then make a calculated decision, say, what do I want from this? It comes down to you.